Hey, welcome back. I hope you're having a good day. Um, I have said many times my health condition, but I feel like I want to be more than just my health condition. And I think I just want to, I've been trying to make sense of it and trying to get to hold on to the things that are still me. I am 23, so there's times I feel like I know who I am and I know what I want, and then something happens. Maybe I meet somebody. Maybe if I just go through something, and then boom, it gets shaken up, and I have to figure out again what's happening. But what I like to do is go over good memories. And speaking of figuring out, first of all, happy fall season. I hopefully we all do some good things. But first, I thought I would just tell like a very fun story, and I think it would be fun. Hope you like it. So, to picture the scene here, first off, I'm bisexual, and I found that out. I've always known it, and then I found it out later. Like it was okay for me to explore it. I have only been with two people my whole life, and my first serious relationship, I was very young. And, we were young, like I was 18, 19. We were technically, in my head, still very, very young little babies, adolescents. But short story, we were together for 4 years, and the last two we were on and off, and we broke up, with each other. Both broke up with each other a good couple of times, and the final time that I broke up with him, because prior to that he broke up with me, I said I want to actually, attempt dating and attempt to date. I didn't really, which I'm still trying to now. I'm still trying to find time to fit into that community and try to fit into it. And I really do want that because, at the end of the day, it's a really good, loving community. And I am, I don't think at the end of the day, you can't judge somebody based on what they look like. You can't judge a book on its cover. And one thing I've especially learned throughout all the stuff I've been through is that just because somebody has a label doesn't mean it has to look like how they want it to look in your head. I'm going to take like the most kind of random example. When I was growing up, I hated wearing dresses. I generally hated wearing them because I was going through abuse, but one of the forms of abuse was my biological father's side was I'm gonna say like the older, stricter, more hurtful Christianity, and they had these very conservative, rigid ideas of how a woman should be, and I knew that wasn't me. So whenever I was presented with feminine things, I did not want to. Now I've gotten a lot better because now I know, like, just because somebody else has these ideas of whether it's fashion, how a person should act, think, that doesn't mean you have to go by it. If I always say anything, just be who you are. Try to be a better person. Try to be who you are, and always try to strive for that. So I didn't really experiment dating girls. So I really didn't know anything, and I ended up going on Hinge. And at the time frame, I had never been on Hinge either, so it was like a relatively new thing. And I was at a point where my life was pretty, for once I wasn't focused on a relationship. It was pretty kind of steady, kind of boring. And I definitely, had some, just like most dating apps, I had hit and miss, and I actually really connected with a very sweet, lovely girl. But sadly, she lived in Ohio, and clearly, as 18, 19-year-old, I was just gonna, for a second, I was like, oh, I cannot work my whole life. But looking back now, I couldn't have done that. But eventually, I met this other girl, and we are gonna not ever. So I'm gonna call her Jessica. So I met Jessica on this, and I will not deny her profile pics caught my eye because, one, she looked like a regular everyday person. I liked how in her profile pics or even just her bio, she was very dorky. She had the kind of out there random kind of, when you could answer questions on dating apps, she kind of had random ones, and I didn't think anything of it. And prior to that, I would have likes and message picture, but it ended up being like for threesomes, and I really didn't connect with anybody. So we ended up chatting, and literally the day we started talking, we video chatted right away, and she was really fun. She was super sweet. I was attracted to what I think now her free spirited. She was also in college, so I was just so attracted to, and this is my thing, is I normally attract to people what the traits I want to bring out myself. I get attracted to those people. But like I said, this is gonna be kind of funny stories time. And we were flirting, we talked for 2 weeks, and then eventually she suggested I go meet her at her college and we meet up in person, which I had daydreamed about this, I had fantasized about this, and I borderline got very obsessive about this. And I know I have a very obsessive personality. I keep it in check with help with therapy and with discipline action practice. I try to keep it. I'm not a serial killer either. I just have a tendency to feel things very intensely, and I tend to want everything to go well. I want everything to go exactly how I think it's going to go in my head, and sometimes it does backfire because it crushes me when it isn't like that, and I freak out. But that's like not part of the story, but you know what? That's okay. So point is, she was so gorgeous, but I was extremely nervous, and I definitely know that showed. Because in my head, I'm like, well, how do I act? How do I talk? I genuinely get so fucking nervous talking to people that I like. I can't really, I don't have a flirting style. I don't have a flirting style. I don't really lead with like, hi. I don't lead with that. I don't lead with that. But you definitely, I show my emotions. So whenever I'm nervous or anxious, you're gonna see it. And I almost turn into just kind of this giddy person. And that's okay. It's okay to be giddy and awkward when you're flirting with people. I don't think at the end of the day, when you find the people or that person, they might find it cute, they might find it enduring. And I try to not to say too much, but like I said, this is the first girl I've ever had an interaction with, and I generally was like, she's so pretty, she was gorgeous, and I had fumbled every darn damn word. So I drive to the school, and I don't think she actually snuck me in, but it was like weird because we needed her ID to get me in. And then, we walked to her dorm room, and it was a pretty standard, dorm room. And first two funny parts was she had a twin bed, and I was sitting on the end of the bed against the wall, and she was laying on the other side, and we just started talking, chatting. And I still remember she wore this black and pink, very big, oversized sweater with these really goddamn cute black, grayish wash jeans. And she had short hair. Oh my gosh. Talking about the story, I'm already physically getting the jitters. I'm getting the jitters because she was still so pretty, and I told myself I thought I had to act a certain way to be to be this all of a sudden proudly bisexual confident person, and I definitely put a lot of pressure on myself to make sure everything went perfect. And I was inexperienced. I prior had one dating partner, and I didn't date much before that partner and even before I met her. So this is definitely my first. So we're talking, and then finally at one point she takes the damn lead, like, ropes, let's go. She takes it, and she ends up sitting on my lap, and I freaked the fuck out. Like, I mean, I don't think I showed it, but in my head, I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. She confidently, I think that's another thing I was extremely attracted to her, was this confidence, like this bounce, go wow wow kind of confidence she had. And she starts kissing me, and I managed to, like, she was also gorgeous. She had an hourglass shape. And here's the thing, she had, like I said, this wonderful, free-spirited, I can tell creative, almost introspective, social personality, and all these things definitely attracted me to her, most definitely. So as she's kissing me, I'm still so damn nervous. So the only thing I do manage to do is, like, put my hand, like, I didn't want to touch her without her saying yes. And two, I didn't know what to touch. I didn't know what to do. I've never kissed a girl, fucking Katy Perry. I never have been this, like, almost flat out sorry. But for my first time with a girl, I got so lucky, and I definitely fucked it up. It could have been spicier, and I should have allowed myself to enjoy it, but I was so hell-bent on everything going perfect, and I didn't want to fuck up any moves. I replayed this moment over and over in my head. So I kind of I didn't get out of my head in the moment. So the only thing I managed to do was, like, put my hand a little bit under her sweater, and I didn't know this, but I know now she might wear that baggy sweater because, it's the easy thing to take off. But also she wore this gorgeous black lace lingerie, maybe even underwear set, and it was gorgeous. It looked awesome on her. And we are making out, but then I remember her friends are going to be there in 10 minutes, and honey, like an awkward bee, I stopped the brakes, and I was like, I didn't even say it. I think how I said it was, your friends are gonna be here. Like, I don't really think we should, do it right now because I don't want your friends walking into me naked. Like, this is the first time I was seeing her friends, and I generally wanted to be clothed when I was gonna meet them. But I really do, oh my God, looking back now, I kind of wish I just allowed myself, because I do this thing where I meet people I like, I have a crush on, and I immediately want to get in a relationship with them too. And I think that's what I was doing with her, instead of just being like, that doesn't actually have to happen. You can just enjoy the moment. You were literally, at this time, I was 18, 19. You're trying to figure yourself out. But I did not think that in that moment. But fast forward, we end up stopping. I end up meeting her friends. They all were really fun. We all played kind of games, ate sushi. I also noticed she took a lot of random naps. Took a lot of random naps. And then they leave. Me and her share a twin bed, which it did not fit both of us. I'm 5'1", and she's 5'3", so I don't know how we managed it. But we were watching some YouTube videos, and then I was wearing, like, I'm a big pretty a big Pretty Little Things fan. So at the time, I had this long sleeve nightgown. It was a normal nightgown. It was a little short, but, like, medium length. It had buttons right here, and it was a nice toppy caramel brown. And she turns the thing off, and I wanted to be on top. That is something that I wanted to try. But then she expressed to me, for certain reasons, she wants to be on top, wants to take the lead. I'm not going to stop her. So I said, no, that's okay. So roles are roars. She's on top of me. She's kissing me again. And the thing I will say is, even though I physically and maybe word couldn't match her energy, I definitely kissed her like I wanted her. I definitely did that. That she definitely felt. And I know this because she took her shirt off, and then I seen she had, once again, she could be a model. Honestly, this girl could be a fucking, like, see, I can't stop thinking about damn body. So she removes clothes, and I see she's got this gorgeous black detailed lace top, and she stops kissing me. And she goes, I love that you're a good girl. And I panicked. I didn't know what to say to that. Listen, I have not watched all the 50 Shades of Grey movies, so I am not equipped to know how to respond to that. So she put me under a spell, and I got hooked. So I didn't say anything. I know I didn't say anything. And then I think there was a few moments of quietness. She goes, I like knowing how much you want me. I like that I can feel it. And every time she did something like this, I just fucking panicked even more, because I'm just I cannot describe to you how much that knocked my brain out. That made me just so, there was no brain air up here. I was just feeling hormones by that time. I was feeling so attracted to this person. Most definitely. It was intense. And so what do? I just go back to passionately kissing her. And she did express, she goes, just bite me really hard. And that's okay. I did experience the guy I was with, he was into a little bit of BDSM, and I try to do everything, and I don't mind trying stuff. So I did bite her neck as hard as I could. I left, not to the point where her blood fucking things popped, but, I gave her a hickey or two, that's good. Or at least, I'm pretty sure in her eyes, I was good. And after that, I, once again, wanted to go down on her. And I do say, now this part of the story, I feel like I really should have stopped. Sometimes when you obsess and you have all these obsessive thoughts and you put these people and all these things on a pedestal, when it really hits, you really can't enjoy the moment. Because in my head, I had to feel an orgasm a certain way. I had to react a certain way to this because of the movies and shows I've seen. And that isn't bad, because we need representation in movies and shows. I just know that it was myself that put way too much pressure, because I love watching. We need the representation, and I love seeing accurate representation for my community and this community. I just know I put way too much fucking pressure on myself. I know I did. So as she went down, I did something that really was, in hindsight, kind of bad, but instead of being vulnerable and saying, oh my gosh, look, you are doing so good, you're so attractive, but I am extremely nervous, I'm extremely anxious, so that's gonna cause when you're down there. I didn't say that. I lied and said I finished, and then we ended up testing out toys together, and then we went to bed. And the next morning, I ended up getting a call from somebody I care about, and I was telling them my goals, and I noticed she switched up, and I drove back to my house, and she texted me hey, I'm just trying to live life right now. I don't think we're on the same page, and I think we should just end it. Which, looking back, she was most likely right, because I think the problem was instead of giving myself time to just date around, I was going to do what I always do. And once I like somebody, I'm I have to be with them. I have to date them, immediately. Which, for some, that works. But I definitely think you should always explore. You don't have to marry every person you kiss or date. That's the point of dating. That's the point of figuring yourself out, is you definitely learn those skills. There's a cricket in my house. I think the cricket agrees. And you learn those ways to cope. And I encourage trying to date new people. Encourage to date. Because dating and all that, you won't find out really who you love as long as you date. And you're 20. And you're not property. You're not somebody's fucking property or doll. You have the autonomy. We should encourage to date and figure out what you like. Because figuring out what you like, building your self-esteem, that is always going to be the most important thing. Because you're going to only have yourself at the end of the day. So why not give yourself that love, that confidence? And then you'll find somebody that emulates that. But I did not handle it well. I ended up being very upset, very angry, and then I said some awful names. Now, I have no problem saying that I said some awful shit, and I do not blame her for being mad or probably even telling people that I was a awful person, because I flipped out because I was mad that somebody went after, one, the things I like about myself, and that's on her. Two, I don't blame her because I didn't take the hint that this, and she probably just wanted like somebody to have fun with, and I didn't take that hint. I got very mad and upset, and now I've learned a lot, which I've learned to just be yourself. At the end of the day, just be yourself. I've also learned, and I've always believed this, that as long as it's love, it doesn't matter if it's with a man, a woman, it doesn't matter. It's not anybody else's business. It matters for you and what makes you happy. And love is love. Okay? Love is love. There is nothing wrong or morally wrong with two people loving each other. Love is communication, good honesty, support, letting that person have their own autonomy, celebrating their achievements, making sure that you guys are equals, and caring about each other. And you guys have that, then it's not a sin. It's not. If anything, what's wrong with having different forms for people to love somebody on? There shouldn't be anything wrong with that. So, only other thing I'll recommend is don't let what you think that is ideal way of being intimate with somebody, being with somebody, don't let those labels and ideas actually define you. You can choose and figure out what you like. And then once you know who you are, you don't need to worry about being the best person or the best kisser, because people just want the real you. They just want you, and that's what's gonna get you the long haul. And taking down the ideals and these things of how everything should be exactly this way and it should be always this way limits your diverse freedom. And diversity to me has always been the backbone of, first of all, America in general. We wouldn't have inventions and the things we have now, and a lot of the stuff we have now was not made from here. There are so many goddamn examples of this, and I don't have the research to go into it, but I recommend research who made mosquito spray, who helped with Wi-Fi. Look into it, because it's not just all from one little group. It's from many different diverse groups, and that's how it works. Disney Channel, Hollywood, all from diverse places, because they understand that is how we have all these amazing opportunities, how we have inventions. It's all from people that are different, from not the same, from different. And I hope that message never goes away, and I won't let it go away. So remember to just be yourself. Don't put so much pressure on you for labels and ideas of who, how, or what you should act. You make your own terms for what the word means, not how it applies to you. And 3, just be kind. You never know what somebody's going through, and try to understand before you react, and try to understand before you give your opinion. I hope you have a good day. Hope this kind of video is kind of funny, a little random, but I will see you guys later. Thank you for this little longer video. Bye-bye.